What's up, guys? Good morning, good morning. We got Mitch here already this morning, so
Good morning, traders. Let's do this.
yes, sir. We got IGC gapping up. Oh wait, there's gonna be a mute or an echo. Let me mute this real quick. Yeah, so we got IGC gapping up some from 445 to 512. Definitely watching this one. We have IOVA gapping up from 997 to 1075. A little bit lower volume on that one. We'll see what happens with it. We have SQ gapping up some from 6903 to 7411. We have NBEV gapping up some from 594 to 634. We have AMRN gapping from 1931 to 2039. Not too bad. I'll watch that one for sure. More recently, we have TRXC starting to push up. It's testing that previous high of pre-market from yesterday. If you look at this chart here, you can see the high of pre-market is right around where it's at now at 522. So this one looks interesting. Going to watch this one as well. We have NIO and maybe MVCN, but still keeping an eye on a few things here. We'll see how today goes. Good morning, Abby, Jason, Casey Mack, 7, JJ, Trading, Juquetes, Rel, Missouri, Web Surfer, Tiny, John Ennis, Juan. Good morning, James, Live Gains. What's up, brother? Netron. So yeah, not that bad of a morning. We'll see what else we can find, but we do have a few options today, especially for Friday. It's not too bad, not too shabby here. Looking at MRO, kind of gapping up some after a big drop yesterday. ROKU gapping up some. What's the SPY doing? SPY is up some. It dropped huge yesterday. The last 2 days have been kind of rough on the SPY, so
Yeah, I'm almost thinking about playing some little option games. I know Netflix is down pretty big.
I mean, the only thing I would like to do for options is buy call options at this point if I did do it. Like, just because,
Yeah,
you know,
like if you see Netflix is pretty down from where it was. Uh, it's been hit pretty hard. It's hanging around a support there. Has a support underneath of it where you could essentially base your risk off of 310 and expect this to get right back up there to those 385s.
yeah, I think I'm gonna start using some options a little bit more. Let me look at my options. I just had good success with those two I bought, and I'm not an expert at all, but you know,
It's an idea.
TRVG
Definitely.
is down some more, and so we're gonna watch it pre-market today, see if we can get down some. But yeah, I mean, I invested $20 in that option. I made 50 thus far, so not too bad.
So it's a couple that are just not tradable, but really good charts. But definitely look out there, guys. There's some good plays there today. You just gotta find the ones you can play and start finding their moves.
No, so Rel says buying calls mean you want the price to drop, correct? No, so it's actually the opposite. The reason, so buying calls would be like going long in a stock. And the reason I would be more long biased is just because it's down so much already in the last 2 days. Just basically a dip buy. I wouldn't really advise other people to do it. It's just kind of what I like. I would buy a cheap option. The good thing with options, and I'm still learning them, but the good thing with options is that you have a 100% defined risk if you're buying them. Like if I buy calls, the maximum amount I can lose is the price of the option. So if I pay $20-$30 for an option, all I can lose in that trade is $20 or $30. That's it. So that's why I like them to a certain extent. But yeah, Netflix looks interesting. Maybe bouncing here. We got YGYI. Gapping up some at 10.50 now. Gapping up about $1 from 9.45. So actually a significant sized gap there. Yeah, Netron, everything's down, bro. Down 500 points in the last 2 days. Yeah, AMRN doesn't look bad. We'll see if it holds over that VWAP level. And TRXC, TRXC recently. up to 518, right around that high of pre-market yesterday. We'll see if it gets rejected there. And since the SPY has been so volatile, I'm going to keep an eye on some of these ETFs like TVIX and UVXY. They're gapping down because the SPY is gapping up so far. So, but yeah, AMRN from 1931 to 2050 looks good too. We'll see if it holds over the support here at 1950, 1960, and 20.
Nice. All right, guys, I'm gonna add this one to my watch list. It's IOVA.
Oh yeah.
IOVA. And the reason I'm adding it is it has a 22 million share common stock offering at $9.97 a share. And where do we get this bounce here? $9.97, guys. So I'm going to be really watching that price point, see if we can break $10 today.
PYX. PYX. Yeah, PYX doesn't look bad. It's gapping up some. I'm going to look at the daily chart. The range is just so big in the last few days for PYX. It's got like a $12, $13 range. Yesterday it went as low as 35 or 36 and went as high as 47. Good morning, Abdul. Eric, thoughts on AKER? AKER, I remember it's a cheaper penny stock, but it's gapping up some. I want to see more volume with it though, especially with these lower price stocks. I just want to see higher volume with them, just because shares are cheaper and so thus the volume needs to be higher in order for them to have momentum. Where it's like a stock that was like $50, $60, it's not going to have as many shares traded just because it's more expensive. So we'll see if TRVG gives me that drop. Looking at NIO too, at 750, right at the whole dollar right now, kind of consolidating in between there. MU outsiders. Yeah, MU had a big push yesterday in pre, and then gapping up again today some, so we'll see what happens with this one as well, see if it comes back some after this big drop. It's been kind of trending down aside from yesterday in the last week. May have some support at 40 or 40.75, 40.50, somewhere in the 40s. We'll see if it gets that low. Now we got TNDM. I mean, this was a former runner when it was a cheaper stock. It must have had a split since then, and it's gapping up some. But it moved some yesterday. It moved a decent amount yesterday for TNDM, so going to watch that one. GDS had a pretty big spike yesterday, although it's not moving too much in pre. STWD gapping up some. CORI popped up on my scanners, but it's not tradable. This looks like a split or some sort of an acquisition, maybe. AMAT gapping up some as well. And IPCI gapping down. Why is there no momentum in the market right now? Luke, so a lot of the times whenever the SPY is really volatile, some of the cheaper stocks aren't as volatile because most people are focusing on ETFs or more expensive stocks. And, like the SPY and Netflix and Amazon and some of the bigger movers in the last few days.
Oh.
It's kind of the opposite. Whenever those bigger stocks aren't moving that much, and whenever the SPY's volatility is down, a lot of times the penny stocks will start to run and start to push. So, good morning, Francisco. Good morning, Marvin. John O. Good morning. All right, so I think I removed all my after class yesterday. I removed all my support and resistance lines on IGC, but it looks like it has some at 510, and this 534 level looks interesting. Maybe 522. Just gonna put 5 here. TRXC just sitting there right around that previous high of pre-market at 520. Interesting level to watch for that one, see if it breaks that. Good morning, Zach. Is ALT halted? No, I don't believe so. No, I don't think so. I think it's just pre-market. CLDC popping up. Not really. I mean, it's gapping, but not too much. CIFS gapping up some. CATS gapping up some. Another one, CASI, CASI. It's gapping, but not moving too much. Let's look at the gap downs. IMDZ gapping down. TVIX, UVXY. USAU gapping down. APHB gapping down. MRO. Alright. What's up, crypto? What's up, man? Let me drink my coffee. Snap. For Snap, Snapchat. Yeah, Snap is up. It's actually a decent sized gap up for Snap. Relative to what it usually does. I mean, it's gapping up roughly 40 cents. So that's actually a pretty big gap for this one. I'll definitely probably throw it on my other watch list now. Appreciate it, outsiders. Good morning, Joe. What's up, man? Yeah, I'm watching NIO for sure. Jean. Or Jean. Or Jean. I mean, it's all preference. I mean, I'm still seeing some gap ups in the lower price, like IGC, NBEV, AMRN, TRXC, NIO. So really, the volume doesn't look that bad for some of these cheaper stocks. You could also see SQ gapping up some from 69.03 to 75. So pretty significant gap up for SQ. And this is Squarespace, I believe, payment processor. You can see TRXC getting rejected at that same level it did yesterday. You know, went right up to that same level, got rejected there again. I mean, Jason says, when you see a gap up, what does that mean? Is it gonna run or drop? You really don't know. You know, sometimes they'll gap up and they'll start to run really nicely. Sometimes they'll gap up and they'll just crash and fill the entire gap. I'm a short bias trader most of the time, and so I typically prefer them to fail and start filling the gap. But you never really know. A lot of times they can run. A lot of times it depends on what the daily chart looks like. And so, yeah, you know, it all depends. Who knows? I just try to take advantage of, you know, it's setting up with my pattern or strategy at the open.
Depending if the market's down today, if the market is down today, at the open. We'll take a look at Cisco, CSCO. I feel like that one has a chance to come down to the support on the daily. It's made some pretty big moves when the SPY went down. So it'll be based on the market as a whole, but we'll look for this pattern also. It'll be a VWAP fade also.
Right, exactly. Cool. That's probably the best way to describe it. What gap ups and gap downs do is bring volume, which is what we need. It brings people's attention to it. That's what our whole strategy revolves around volume. It has to have volume to fulfill the patterns we look for.
Yep. And then you also want to know the macro. Like right now, the techs have been taking the biggest hit in the market.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I'm taking a look at the techs, is that if the market wants to continue going down and kind of do a reversion, kind of get to some levels, maybe we gotten too extended off the levels and the market needs to go ahead and correct itself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are up today, though.
Yeah, I mean,
so it might have been a correction.
A lot of times when you get those dump offs, you're gonna see early morning up, because those are people that are trading futures, trying to go ahead and cash in, get in early, get that bounce. And most people don't believe in the panic button until it's usually too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't hit the panic button because it's also the way the media supports. Whenever the market goes down 600 points, you're not really hearing that, the market's going to crash the next day. You're more along always going to hear a certain sector that's down a certain amount, and that's why they go ahead and blame it on that.
Yeah. And generally, it's just panic.
Yeah, and I mean, essentially, it's usually early moves, measured moves by analysts, and then as stocks continue to make that move the second day, then the panic comes in.
Yeah.
I think panic ran into the market yesterday.
I mean, and it's kind of funny because, one of the main reasons for the first panic the day before yesterday on Wednesday was because they raised interest rates, right? And then they actually had some speculation that interest rates would go down yesterday, and the market still went down again yesterday. Some, But emotions are a funny thing in trading, Yeah. But usually when I see dips like this, I'm more long biased and vice versa. And so we'll see, Doesn't mean I'm right, could mean I'm wrong. It's just, like Warren Buffett says. I think it was Warren Buffett, but he said the key to investing is to be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. And so it's kind of that overextension mentality that, I look for with trades.
That's how I got paid in the cryptos when they were going last year. I only bought on the days that the panic came. Right. Anytime there was panic washouts, that's when I was buying. Everyone was selling while I was trying to get in.
Right.
I remember that there was a day where they had some server shutdowns and it dropped I think it was 10,000 points or something like that, some ridiculous amount, and I was there just spamming my phone, just buy me some more.
Just loading up, huh?
Yeah, and it works out,
right,
it works out sure. Because it's kind of like the same way with our VWAP fade, we're not chasing it, we're trying to short into strength. And I like to long into weakness,
Right. I mean, that's one of the easiest ways to be successful in trading is just to wait for a crash. I really don't want the market to crash, but to wait for a crash and buy it when everything's cheap. A lot of times, it rebounds somewhat quickly. You got to make sure you get the bottom. But I mean, I think that's what a lot of people did with Black Monday back in 1987. Is just bought it all the way at the bottom. That's what really kind of rejuvenated the market, was people started jumping back in. But yeah, I told my wife if the market ever crashes, I'm just gonna load up on bigger stocks like Microsoft.
Yeah, that's
Amazon.
The day I never in my life would suggest a payday loan but that's the day that you do it.
Right.
You go
Chances
get
are
whatever
that they're
money
not going to
you
be
got.
around.
Yeah, get whatever money you got. And try your luck. Always diversify. Grab a lot of stocks, not just one. You always want to, if you're gonna make a move like that, you don't want to buy one stock. You want to buy what you think is the next Apple, and then Apple already.
Right. Exactly. And somebody's asking, there's live gains mentioned all the gold stocks have been going strong. Yeah, that's what I mentioned yesterday. Like yesterday, I can't remember. I think it was maybe AMX. I was watching one of these gold stocks, and it's set up for a short. Maybe not AMX. Maybe it was. I don't know. But I was watching one of these gold stocks, and it's set up for a really decent short. It looked like a nice VWAP fade. But I remember I said, when the market crashes, people invest in gold, and it's just human nature.
The best measure, guys, is going to be the treasury rates. If you start seeing the treasury bond rates start just like everybody hitting them, that's when you really know that the market's changing. The reason being is that that's where you can find the risk-free treasury bonds, where it's essentially risk-free. You're still at risk, but very, very, very limited risk. And what it does is people transition out of their money. They go and they transition it into bonds to save their gains, let the market kind of play games, go down or up. And then once they feel it's leveled out, they go right back in.
Yeah.
So that's one really, really key measure. And if you really see when the drop happened about 2 days ago, there was a spike in treasury bonds right before it. It was a big spike in them, and a lot of contracts started rolling through there, and that causes big panic.
Yeah.
Traders really watch that. It's something I learned in school to really watch out for.
Yeah. Also, I mean, if you think about it, one of my other favorite quotes, which is kind of relevant to all of this, is Baron Rothschild. And his famous quote was saying, "The time to buy is when there's blood in the streets."
Yeah.
And he made his fortune buying panics that followed the Battle of Waterloo against Napoleon. Apparently, I'm looking this up on Google, but I was trying to figure out who said that quote. I remember the quote, but trying to remember who said it. But it all goes back to, a lot of people just buy on panics. When the stock market's down, people
Just
start
have to
buying
be
stocks.
smarter and use important levels.
Right.
That's what I always say. Those important levels, they play out. And there's a reason why people make that money when it's not like they just guess. They're like, oh, yeah, here's the bottom. No, they just find a really, really good bottom, a support that's hit, 10 times, 11 times on the daily, and they think that that's the reversion that could happen.
Yeah, IOVA I can trade outsiders. I think so. Let me double check, but I thought I checked it earlier.
IOVA can trade.
Yeah, it's tradable.
It's one of my It's one of my top watches. It has a resistance up there at $12. Pretty big resistance there on the daily at $12. I'm gonna watch this one rock it off and look for it to kind of fake out along and crash through 11. But if it does hold above 11s, it could make a move today to 12.
Yeah, for sure. Also, shout out to Trade Ideas for allowing me to stream their scans. If you haven't heard of Trade Ideas, these are the scanners I'm using. They have super dynamic and customizable scans, regardless of what your niche is in trading. And so, if anybody's interested, go check them out. Really cool scanning software. I've been using them for a few years, and I recently started them back up. And so, really loving the scans. It makes it really easy to get organized in the morning with Trade Ideas. And so, go check them out. I just posted the link in the chat if anybody wants to check them out.
Yeah, the speed is ridiculous, especially for traders that like a high-a-day momentum scanner. That's honestly one of the best things I can recommend for you, especially if you have scalping strategies.
Yeah.
This is like your number one go-to. If you have a scalping strategy and you're not using Trade Ideas, I don't know what you're using, but you're definitely not getting the alerts that you need.
Yeah, 100%. Also, if anybody's interested in signing up to TEFs, which is the broker we trade on, I'll post a link that'll get you 20% off the intro package. The way it works, a lot of people always ask me how it works, but you pay for a package, it's not a deposit. And so, for instance, in my case, I paid for the $500 intro package, and with that, they give me $14,000 in buying power with a $700 max loss. And so if it goes under 13,300, they close my account down. And any profits over the original 14K they give you, there's a 70-30 split, but it's only on profits. And so, for instance, if I bring it up to 15K, I keep 700, they keep 300. The thing I really like about them is that anything that's tradable is shortable, and commissions are super cheap. The biggest flaw with TEFs is that a lot of stocks aren't tradable. It can definitely be frustrating, especially some of the cheaper penny stocks. But if you follow along with their stream, usually Mitch and I typically try to make it work. But yeah, I'll go ahead and post that link. It's, you know, if you think about it, it's not a bad deal, at least in my opinion. You know, with my link especially, you can get the intro for 400, and you're effectively paying 400 to be able to lose 700, and so not a bad deal in my mind. But make sure you reach out and understand that certain stocks aren't tradable. I try to be honest with people about it. Biggest flaw, easily the most frustrating thing. And like I said, most of the time it's like cheaper stocks. No, there's no T3 rule with TEFs. Yeah, there's no PDT rule. I can trade as much as I want, and there's no T3 rule. And so after each trade, my settlement is immediate.
All right. Gonna see today if CRON wants to come back into that kind of triangle that it was in yesterday. We have a resistance for CRON at 950. 950 is that hard resistance that I don't want to see it break. I would like to see it tap it and immediately just get flushed down. The support right now is like at 933. I want to get this flushed down to a minimum of 916 so that I can get that nice VWAP entry somewhere in this 930 area. Have an ability to risk up there to that 950 and see this move down to $9.
On which one?
On CRON.
Yeah, look at that move. Remember yesterday when we called out, or when really you called out that symmetrical triangle here? It faded really nicely down under 9, down to 895, so it followed through pretty well with that one.
We'll have to keep an eye on this one. Yeah, it was a really good trade. I just, taking about 15 minutes to trade.
Yeah,
it's never
tough.
Really the way you want to do it.
Yeah, it's
tough.
tough.
Didn't want to ruin my winning streak, of course, on a 15-minute day.
Yeah, for sure. You can't force it on those days, but
yeah,
it was a good trade idea.
But I'm looking forward to today, guys. Gonna go for day 9 here today. Day 9 in
That's
October.
huge, bro.
Let's do this.
Yeah, that's huge, man.
Yeah, October is doing me well, man.
You got it, brother.
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
CLDC. Yeah, gapping up some. Want to see more volume, though. That's the biggest thing. I mean, I'm looking at it around 1, but I want to see more volume with it. The volume's still pretty low. Yeah, CORI. I'll start looking up the news. CORI looks like a merger, acquisition, maybe a split. But it looks more like an acquisition than anything. Let me look up the news on some of these. Alright, so I guess I'll look up that one really quick. CORI. Alright, so yeah, it's exactly what I thought. So CORI recently agreed to an acquisition by health case investor Gurnet Point Capital. So yeah, they agreed to an acquisition, and that's what it sounded like, and that's what the chart looked like. This looks just like an acquisition. To tell if it's an acquisition or not, or just to be able to spot it like that, Usually it's a gap up with that gaps up to one specific point and then just stays in that range, and you can see that's what CORI did. Moving on though, looking at SQ, it's a tech stock gapping up some. I think this one's probably just up on the other tech stocks moving as well. The price target was raised. The buy rating was raised to a buy from a hold. And so I think that one's just up on tech-related news. I can also look up AMRN, but a lot of these are just going to be up on momentum. So yesterday, Baker Brothers acquired a 13.5% stake in AMRN, and that's why they're up. So Baker Brothers acquired a stake in AMRN, and that's why they're gapping up. Next one I'm looking at is NBEV. All right, so I'm seeing on the site that it says New Age Beverages, which is NBEV, earlier named Gregory Gold, the CFO for Chief Administrative Officer. And so that's what they named a new CFO for NBEV. That's ultimately why it's gapping up some, I guess. You can see it gapping up from 594 to 636. IGC doesn't have any news that I see out on it. It's probably just up on sympathy from some of these other cannabis plays. Moving on to Snapchat, SNAP here, gapping up from 681 to 719. It's actually a pretty significant gap. I think it might just be on sympathy from the other tech stocks.
All right.
Yeah, just the buy rating was raised on Snap. A lot of these are just up on sympathy from these other tech stocks. Last one I'm going to look up is, I need to look up IOVA, but looking up TRXC. I'm seeing something that let me see. If anybody knows the news on TRXC, let me know. I'm seeing something with FDA thumbs down for Trevino, which is TRXC. Okay, yeah, the FDA actually recommended against approving TRXC drug in 8-7 votes. So FDA ruled against TRXC. I'm surprised it's up. I'm definitely going to look at this one for potential short, considering that news. But moving on to IOVA. This is probably the last one I'm going to look at. IOVA gapping up from 997 to 1106. Yeah, like Mitch said, there's a public offering at 997 per share. Shares are up 4%. So yeah, offering for IOVA. It's enough for me to watch it for sure. I'll be right back, guys. I got to run to the restroom. Mitch, hold it down, bro.
I got it. All right. All right, guys. We're almost getting to that nice time where I tell you guys to start visualizing your trades. This is when you want to start really knowing the important levels you're looking for and how you're going to execute your trade. If you're not ready to visualize your trade, more than likely you will hesitate because the speed of the open. So the more you visualize and understand your entry points that you want to get in on, this is going to go ahead and have you excel when the speed comes into the market. I am seeing IGC get into kind of a flag or a flag pennant here. I am seeing a strong support there at 510 or 509. So that's going to be the point where I'll say that it's on a bear signal. There is a resistance line, trend line that's coming from that first run at 816 all the way to a third touch at 912. I'm going to see if it's going to hold this 516 here at the bottom and rip out above 530, or if it's going to make a move to 530, reject these highs, and come right back down to that 509. It's going to be an interesting stock to watch. I think right now, I don't really have more of an A plus. I am watching IOVA. That one I am interested in. It is looking good. Does have some short time resistance and support in this 1130s here. As you see, someone bought it up there, 4,000 shares there going through there. 1110. IGC also looks like it might break out.
All right, I'm back.
All right, let's do this, brother.
Got a little bit over a minute left. You can see NBEV starting to come down some actually here. It's down to 626. Looks somewhat interesting here. We'll see what happens to it. We'll see what the tech stocks do today. Those are probably on everybody's watch. Really at the open though, I got to keep an eye on my TRVG. My TRVG put option. MTMB, I want to see if it moves a little bit more. Gonna see if it tests $1 is where I'd start watching that one. IGC holding strong at the VWAP though, bouncing off of 510. Alright guys, market opens up in 20 seconds, just trying to get ready. All right, here's the open, guys. 5 seconds. Good luck, everyone. Hope everyone can do well today. Let me pull up my trade ideas intraday scanners. Getting a little bit of a spike here on NBEV after that small drop. You can see it held some support here, which is where it kind of held some in pre as well.
Yeah, it looked a little interesting there in the 30s, but I think it's too tight there, right there. It's too early. Don't want to make a mistake this early in the market and then just kind of ruin yourself.
Yeah. AMRN.
IGC rejected that level, guys. 530, like I called it out in pre-market. They rejected it pretty hard there.
Look at AMRN breaking the high of pre, going up to 2102.
Yeah, that looks very bullish, strong there to me.
I'm looking at TRVG. If TRVG breaks that 487 level, I'm just going to sell my option on it. There goes IGC cracking under the VWAP.
Yep, IGC, guys. What I tell you guys, 530 reject down to that 509 broken.
Looks good, man.
This is the exact call that I called out, guys. That's why I called the pre-market levels for you guys, so you guys can understand where the stock is going to kind of flip. Now it's more in a bearish. We want to see if it's going to hold 516s. 516s is what I want to see it bounce and hold.
Yep, that's why I'm looking at it too.
Yeah, you see MBEV, it's kind of interesting there at 630s. I was interested in hitting those 630s, but it would have been a higher risk trade, guys. Kind of one of those really uneasy ones. So maybe taking your share size down can make you get into this trade, but it was a good idea maybe there on 630. I saw the support. I had a feeling it was going to act as a resistance because it just slammed so hard there.
Yeah, the only reason I don't like IGC at this point is just because it's bouncing off of that 510 support. And so I would say that's probably the reward level with this one as opposed to 5, is that 510 level. But if it holds underneath there and then pulls back, I don't, it doesn't look too bad. But I want to see it hold underneath 510.
Ooh.
Because you could see it bounce there a few times in pre.
Yeah, I said it, 516s. It went to 515 right there. It's a good entry there. Wasn't a bad idea because you could do a 15-cent, risk right there. And then get this move down there.
True. I've got to look at that NBEV as well.
Yeah, it's...
See if it pulls back up some here. Very obvious risk level if you get in at 27. You can set your risk at like 32, 33 for NBEV. So I don't mind it if it bounces to the 20s. And now IGC looks a little bit more interesting.
IOVA up there to now 1150s, guys. That looks like it's pushing pretty strong. Could get up there to 12. CRON breaking out over that 950. Over that 950. I'm gonna look for CRON, kind of do the same thing here. Let's see if it just gets slammed out at 950. Looks like there's some buyers stepping in there, but
TRXC coming down some. There's the wash on TRXC. I don't mind TRXC bouncing back to the VWAP here. I got to be careful. Make sure it's not a washout long. Very obvious risk level at that 520s. Just because it broke there numerous times and got rejected there numerous times in pre-market and in pre-market today and yesterday at around 522 or 523 it looks like. So very obvious risk level if it can bounce back to 515 on TRXC. Only thing I don't like is the volume. Looking a little low for it. Looks like Thinkorswim is lagging a little bit again today.
yeah, man. That's
Third
free
day in a
service
row.
for you, man.
Yeah, third
That's
day in
what
a row.
happens. It's part of the free service,
Yeah,
Got a
for
lot more traders using it.
Sure. Yeah.
I was looking for a VWAP bounce on TIVA for a long play, guys, but it never came down to the VWAP there. Just thinking about taking 94s off of 90, but
Just waiting for some setups. Looking at IGC, TRXC, NBEV. NIO is running up some. Snap ran up some today. AMRN is kind of battling the VWAP now. Maybe a VWAP rejection there. All right, trading. Have a good day, brother.
might take a small risk here, guys, on CRON. What I'm looking for is kind of like a VWAP rejection play here.
Look at NIO spike up there. NIO
This
making a
CRON
big
getting
spike.
hit hard there.
AMRN getting hit with a rejection too, possibly.
Yeah, that looks interesting there.
AMRN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. CRON did kind of the same move, guys. Rejected those high days and just came right back down below the support there at 35s here. Might look for an entry here at 45. If I did get in there at 45, I'd have to risk off of that 950 pre-market high there. 5 cent risk. First profit would be at 935s.
Yeah, IGC's testing this $5 level, this whole $1.05. And you can see, like I said, it held under 510 for IGC. Mitch was right too at that 516, 513 level. But look at NIO, Snap starting to push up. CRON, maybe a VWAP projection.
For you long traders, we can't trade this stock, but CIFS is coming on the high day momentum scanner.
Yeah, it's starting to run. Doesn't look bad. There's CRON with the pullback to the VWAP.
Might get a fill here. If it gets up there enough.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. It doesn't look bad.
There's IGC turning.
Yeah, IGC tanked, broke under 5.
Yeah.
There it is.
And there might go MBEV. It's pushing hard there.
Yeah, AMRN too. Pulling back to the VWAP now, I mean.
CRON didn't bounce up high enough there for me.
Yeah, I was watching IGC to see if it gave me another bounce in NBEV, but we might get a second test here for the VWAP, I'm sure. Usually we do, so I'm going to just wait for that.
NBEV had the order out there.
RIOT popping up on my low float scanner, Riot. Look at Riot go, man. It's been a while since I've seen this stock run. I think it's a terrible company. It should be. I don't know. They probably took it off.
Took it off.
Yeah, I mean it's been a few months since I saw it, so it's been a little bit. Yeah, there goes AMRN. Nice little rejection there. Just like I said, that 2060 level.
Yeah, CRON wasn't that bad. Just couldn't get filled there. Don't chase though. That's the one thing I'm not gonna do. It's nothing worse than chasing.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not either. I'm just trying to give it that time. We're watching NIO. I mean, a lot of times after a big drop like this, they'll pull back to the VWAP. And now, if the VWAP drops down, it'll give you an obvious risk at a level on IGC of like 514, maybe 510 would probably be the stronger resistance. NBEV. Have to risk 630s on NBEV if it pulls back to 623, so I don't dislike that one necessarily either. Snap pulling back down. TRXC, low volume, but what he means by chasing is that, you see a stock make a big drop like this, and you get bummed out, like you have some FOMO that you missed that original drop or breakout or whatever you're looking for, and so you buy it at the wrong spot because you missed the first move. That's chasing. All right, NBEV looking interesting here if it starts to pull back to that 620s level for the VWAP.
I don't think it'll get back that far enough. I think it's going to go to the 9 EMA and then just crash down here. I think it touched it right there, 613. But,
TRXC too.
It's one of those really tight trades right now.
Yeah. TRXC doesn't look bad. I like the risk of 519, 520 on TRXC. If it can get back up to 513. AMRN just steady tanking here. Another short day today, guys. Ears. Yeah, look at years. Ears is up to 90 cents. Beautiful washout long with the break of the pre-market high on ears there. NIO testing the VWAP now as well. And CRON maybe getting back up there.
Right.
Yeah, just haven't seen much. I mean, I've seen a few kind of set up with rejections, but not too many fades, I would say. But there's still a decent amount to watch. It's still early. TRXC, IGC, and BEV specifically are the ones I'm looking at. Look at Snap, SNAP. Man, look at IGC just continuing back down. Looking for a good entry on NBEV here. Want to see it get up to 620. It's at 614 now. Look at AMRN, Mitch. AMRN.
Yeah, I'm looking at NIO right now. Looks interesting for VWAP rejects. All right, I'm in there with 100 shares there at 57. In there, 100 shares there at 57. Risking off 67 here. Wanted to come back down to this 750s real quick. Then kind of I can start looking for an add position as it starts fading down here.
I'm in with 100 shares on NBEV. Risk is 60.32. And I don't necessarily dislike adding if it gets high enough. With that tight risk at 32s. TRXC pulling back to the VWAP as well. AMRN ended up getting slammed down there. Look at an IGC drop, man. That thing just tanked today, too.
All right, here comes NIO making that down push.
There you go. Looks good for you, bro.
Yeah, looking good here. Might take some profit here at the next support here underneath 45s or 46s here.
AMRN is right around the VWAP level now. There you go. Looks good, man. About to test the lows of the day.
All right, I
for
bought
you.
50. I bought 50 shares there. Covered 50 of it. Covered half the position here, guys. Looking to add the position back here at 758. And if it tanks down below this support, then let it just keep going, and we'll have a nice 50 shares to let it ride.
Yeah, just to see what Mitch is trading. He's trading NIO. Where was your entry at 57, you said? 55?
Yeah, 57. 57.
Okay. Good entry,
Share
bro.
screen. Yep, I called it out, looking for a VWAP bounce on there. Let it come down to the support. Took some off the support there at 47. And now letting it try to hit down through the support there. There's 45s. Maybe it nails down and keeps coming right back down. Next support I'm seeing is 40s. You're going to see 40s, and then after that, it can really come down here. Maybe come down all the way to this 727 area. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Maybe it gets heavy here and just starts tanking down here. Did want to use some more sizing, but as I've told John, I don't really like NIO that much.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's very, very tough play, so you got to be really quick in it, really quick out.
I've had
Gotta
bad.
know what you're doing.
Yeah, I've had bad results with it, but there's that
There
drop
you
for
go.
you.
There's the 40s.
Beautiful.
Let's hold on here. Let's hold on there as it got really heavy there through the 40s. Maybe we get this move down to the 720s here. I'm watching IOVA also. If it rejects above here, above 1145s.
TRXC faded really nicely just now off the VWAP. Smaller range though, but it looked to be fading nicely. And look at Snap. Snap doesn't necessarily look bad. There's a drop on NBEV I was looking for. It's down to 612.
All right, guys, let's hope that this 47 here can act as a resistance, as a squeeze there all the way up to 52s there.
That's a big bounce.
Yep, so just going to keep off my break-even price here, guys. Break-even price here for the rest.
10s, 9s. Yeah, I got to focus on my trade a little bit now, Mitch, so give me a second, brother.
Yeah, go for it. Looking good on MBEV. I like that rejection there.
Yeah, me too. Ooh, look at that spike back up really quick, though. I don't like that.
Depends.
Yeah.
I have to see the volume.
Still
I
got
didn't
some
see
time.
the volume.
Yeah, volume's still relatively low on that spike, but
There you go. IOVA is looking better. I think it's going to crash right there. Reject up there one more time to 34s. There's a big order up there at 750, guys, on NIO. If that order gets filled, I might get out of there, guys. It's been filling up there. It's 10,000 shares, 14,000 shares, 10,000 shares, and they're all in the 750s. So I don't want a new high created here over 52. Would like it to come right back down to those 740s, showing me that it's shorters and not longs buying the bag, the bottom of the stock.
yeah, CNET looking okay. It needs some more volume for me, though. Here, Ismail. Yeah, here just tanked.
Good. Looked good on the ask. It kind of rejected the 750 fill of that big order. So that's what I'm looking at, guys, now, is for this to reject 750s, get down below, get to those 740s again. We want it hanging down on the bottom of the range now. Especially with VWAP rejections. What I noticed with VWAP rejection, guys, is we don't want it backed by a VWAP. The reason it's a VWAP rejection is we want to see hard volume pull away from from VWAP.
Yeah.
You should no longer see it by VWAP anymore.
So I like that hold under the $0.50 on yours on NIO at 750. It held nicely there.
Yeah, definitely. And what I like is that, okay, you see how on the ask right now there's a 193 there, guys. Those are shorters trying to jump and knock this stock down. They throw a lot of share size on the ask so that if it does fill them, they're getting a better price. But they also are putting weight on the other side so that people won't buy up that ask and get this stock back up there. Don't want to see the stock back over 52. Want to see the stock get back down to those 740s, break down those 740s, and get to our nice profit zone.
Yeah, I'm holding NBEV. I'm waiting for it to crack under 610. That area has been holding as support pretty well, I would say. And so looking to see if it holds under 610 specifically. You know, I think I have a very obvious risk level in this.
IOVA looks beautiful to me right there. I would have shorted the 26. I just can't do it right now. I'm in this trade, and I have this one trade rule that I don't like to break, so
yeah,
I think it looks really interesting.
I don't like being in more than one stock at a time.
Yeah, it's a rule that I'm not trying to break here, guys, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I know I like the risk after rejected 34s. I said if it rejected 34s again, to nail on it. So that's the only thing you really got to worry about, 34s being bought up.
Yeah, IGC bouncing some here. Big down move on IGC. I do like if it pulls back to 5. But it would have to pull back to 5. NBEV, I'm kind of torn with it right now. I mean, even if it spikes, my risk level is relatively set here. You know, in the 24s. And so even if it spikes here, I'm okay.
Yeah, this is the stock, at least for me on NIO, that I'm really not going to turn this one into a loser. I'm even willing to set a stop as long as it's on the right price. Let's go off of $54. All right. If it gets to 54, guys, I'll get out of this stock on NIO. I'm not going to let it come to VWAP here again. I'm looking for it to hold these levels and knock down, get below these 45s, then through the 40s.
CRON starting to rebound some here, and this is where I have to watch
IOVA
this.
got bought up through those 36s there, so it looks like my little call out right there actually saved me a little money.
This is where I have to watch NBEV closely here because some of the other cannabis stocks are starting to push. So you can see IGC, you can see CRON. All of these are starting to rebound some, and so with that, I have to be careful here.
Yeah, it's in a dangerous spot.
Yep.
What's your level?
My level is 24 at this point. I still don't mind it here. I'm just going to let it go to 24.
All right, guys. More than likely going to get stopped out here. Yep, stopped out there on NIO. NIO spiked up really big. I'm getting out. A whole bunch of the stocks are spiking.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the cannabis stocks start to move like this.
Still green there at least, guys. Got a little change, 650.
I like this rejection. Still going to give it some time, though.
Yeah, I don't want to try to trade another VWAP rejection here, at least on NIO for sure.
Up to 22s. Like I said, this is where I got to really start to watch it. I like that original rejection, but I'm going to give it time to test. It got up to 23s. So just going to keep it on a tight leash here and jump out if it breaks my level. All right, I'm out for a $10 loss. It broke 25, and so that was my cue to get out. Yeah, it looked like a good fade. I'm not really disappointed in anything I did with this one. I think I approached it the right way. I just think that, these cannabis stocks all started to run right around the same time and start to reverse. Kind of the same thing with NIO. And so no stress, $10 loss is small. Yeah, NIO, you got out at the right time for it as well.
All right, I'm gonna watch Tiva here, guys. Wanted to push the 2130s, reject, breaking out here. IOVA is looking actually quite strong there. I'm gonna just keep this one on watch, guys.
IOVA.
Yeah, looking long now.
Yeah, it looked like a short day at the beginning, but everything kind of slowly started to reverse about 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago.
Yep, can't fight the market, guys.
Right.
Can't fight the market, the number one rule.
About a break-even week for me thus far. This is the first week in 2 months where I haven't had more green days than red days. Of course, I've had losing weeks in the last 2 months, but this is the first week in 2 months where I haven't had more green days than red days. If you track the half-hour mark after the bell, viewer count over the past year, this channel's steady growing at 250 every day now. Yeah, man, the channel's growing well, man. Excited for it, man. Mitch and I, listen, like, we always get some haters in here, but the truth is that Mitch and I aren't trying to act like experts, but we're just trying to teach people the fundamentals of risk and reward, following your plan, and, trading strategy and back testing, so I've been enjoying the classes we've had this week. We'll see
without a doubt. It's been really fun.
Yeah, for sure. We are going to be posting kind of not a sneak peek, but a little sample of a class this weekend. It's just a little 15-minute sample. Maybe a little bit of the back testing class we had yesterday as well. We should be posting that soon.
There's Tiva kind of cracking there. I'm going to see what's happening here. Let's see if I can get a little bounce. Improve my entry here. Want my risk to be about 10 to 12 cents here, not 15. Still waiting.
Yeah, the only one I kind of like right now is if IGC gets up to 5. I don't mind shorting it around 5 if it gets up there. With a very obvious risk level of 510. Potential reward would be down to 480s preferably, maybe 481, 484. But good positive risk to reward if it gets up to 5. And I think it may act as some resistance. Hey, appreciate it, Remington. He said, yeah, I've learned a lot from you guys. I enjoyed the channel. Good to hear, brother. Good to hear, man. Glad you find value in it, brother. The only interesting one I kind of see, look at AMRN. What do you think about a risk level, Mitch, on AMRN at 260?
Hold on. I'm trying to get in Tiva here.
Look at that double top. At 2140. The weird thing is Thinkorswim just showed the bid was higher than the ask on AMRN.
I've actually seen that on AMRN.
It confused me, man. I saw it. I was like, what? And that's why I said AMRN risk of 2060. It's had a lot of resistance here. And so tight risk. The only other one I'm looking at is NBEV again. It ended up fading back down, but the reason I like this one a little bit.
I got a stock shooting off on the high day momentum. PLAG.
PLAG.
Don't think it's tradable, but it's probably shooting.
Oh yeah, look at that thing go. Popping up high. I might jump in AMRN here with 100 shares and just look to ride this one down, get out at 2060 if it does break that level. Oh no, not NBEV. Good. I clicked the button on NBEV. 51s. Looking at AMRN here using a risk level of 2063, 2060. We'll see what happens here though. This is kind of the make or break level before I decide to jump in there. Yeah, a lot of stuff is rebounding. Yeah, today is Friday. Cool. Got to be careful on days like today. Maybe jumping in another trade's not a good idea. I usually do a pretty good job of not revenge trading. I don't like revenge trading. And so I try to stick away from
it. Tried to get short there on TIVA, 400 shares at 21.12s. And he filled some there at 21.11s, 21.10.
There goes AMRN dropping like I thought it might. See if we can get a bounce back. It's just got so much resistance above it at this point.
All right, short there at 21.10 there on TIVA.
This is going to hurt if AMRN comes back down before I jumped in. There's 46s. I think it's going to wash here. 44s, 45s. 43s. Called it on the nose. Missed it. It just had so much resistance above it. I thought a very obvious risk level of 2060, 2063. Anywhere around there would have been nice risk. I just dropped 10, 15 cents. There's 39s. Yep. There it goes. I don't know if I even like it if it bounces now, so I just got to move on from it. But would have been right. Yeah, I look at PLAG. I like somebody said it. What did they say? Avoid that like the plague for PLAG. All right, here's a spike on AMRN. Still think that risk level's good at 2060s, 2063 if I want to get loose with it. There's the big spike. Maybe it was a good thing. Maybe it was a quick scalp. We'll see if that risk level that I said previously holds. It's at 2058 now.
All right, don't want to see TIVA over 21.15s here. Want this to go ahead and wash down here, guys.
Very obvious little channel forming here on AMRN. Now, the closer I buy it, like we went over in the risk to reward class, the closer I buy it to that previous resistance, the better my risk to reward is ultimately going to be in trades like this. The accuracy rate, I'm sure, probably goes down a little bit if you take that route of buying it as close to resistance as possible, but it will give you a better risk reward
There you
on
go.
average.
Tiva's looking great.
Here, let me pull you up, bro. And in this one, guys, remember what I said, that 2060 level was resistance. Where did it go when it bounced back up? 2060.
All right, don't want to see this over 21.15s, guys.
And so everybody in our class, if you remember what I said about how you want to look at the previous history of the chart, and if you could see that, I said my risk would have been 2060. Why was my risk 2060? Because it bounced off of there, here, really a bunch of times, here, 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 and here. Over and over and over again, it bounced off of 2060. And so when it bounced there, where did it go? It went to 2060 and then got rejected right back down. That area is still holding as resistance, if that makes sense. There you go. Looking good, brother. Let's see a drop under here. Let's break that whole dollar.
Putting out an order right now. 200 at $21. Cover 200 shares at 21.
Yeah, let's see, crack that whole dollar for Mitch.
Yeah, it's holding a little high here, a little higher than I'd want it to hold. I've been seeing the shorts, but there was this 2113 order that really concerns me. It's 65,000 shares at 2113. That's why I changed my levels from 2120 to 2115. So I don't want to see it get over there, over that 15. Because it could squeeze pretty strongly over that. Just got to be careful right here, guys. This is going to be the moment right here. See if we get some confirmation. It's weighing on the short side. There's 3,000 shares there at 2103. This is where a lot of traders will make the wrong move and just take 2105 as profit. That's really not the profit that I was looking for. I know my first profit should be at that first support. I'm willing to take 21 as it approaches that 2098 because I don't think it'll stay there for too long if it does get down there. All right, guys, definitely don't want this one now above these 2113s, really.
Oh, it hurts, guys. I don't know if you guys, I missed my entry with AMRN, but this was the move I was looking for. If you guys see it, beautiful move down to 2036. Risk of 2060 would have held beautifully. And, yeah, I just missed the trade, guys. There's 2030s. Called this one out on the nose. And 2031 looks beautiful here. And so, frustrating I missed it, but gives me a little bit more confidence in my trading. But regardless, AMRN fading back down just like I thought it might. Mitch's trade's looking good on TEVA. Yeah, I have half of your screen up, Mitch, and half of mine just so I could watch AMRN, but it looks good, brother.
Yep. I'm just holding to my levels, guys.
There's 28s on
Regardless of
AMRN.
whichever way the trade works, just hold to my levels. That's all I can do as a trader.
I think AMRN's going to bounce here at this arrow I just drew because why? It bounced off of there. And so I think it's going to bounce there.
Just
There's
need
the
one
bounce.
more wash. One more either fake long here or one more wash here, and I'll get my reward.
There's the predicted bounce, the next kind of evolution in this trade. Look, there's the bounce, called that exactly on the dot right there as well. There's a bounce up to 2040s. Going to look for that 2040 area to now hold as resistance because it was previous support here.
There's weight there on 2102s.
Beautiful, man. Looks good, brother. And like I said, I'm looking for 2040 to hold as resistance on AMRN here. Looks to be holding as resistance nicely. And then I want to see a bear flag back down to break this low, if it does that. But we'll see. It's down to 32s, 31s, 28s. There we go. Let's see if it breaks this low again.
All right, there's 2101 here on the bid. See if we can crack this 21 here. And I get paid there. Take some out.
Yeah, 100% insurance, man. Like, it's like I said, people can say whatever they want. They can't say I'm a bad trader. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't manage the trade perfectly, but trades like this, like, give me confidence. Like, I can call this down on the nose. There it goes. Exactly what I said would happen happened. I said it would bounce at here at 2028.
Right, took 200 off there at 2101. Saw it on the ask, and I saw my number on the bid. I canceled my order and quickly got out there on the ask to take my first profit there, guys. That way I've already taken now $18 in this trade. I can hold break even on the rest and try to let this stock break this support and really come down here, guys. Next stop would be 2087, and from there we can keep going down.
Look at AMRN, man. Predicted that one perfectly. Yours is looking great though, bro.
Next stop 87. There you go, getting that move now down to the 95s. Let's see this move to the resistance, breaking through the resistance here. The support right there.
IGC fluctuation. Yeah, I'm looking at IGC on my other monitor. It's holding at 5 right now, the whole dollar of 5. And so, realistically, I would set my risk level on IGC at 515 if I was in it, and potential reward at 480. And so, it's not the best risk to reward at this point if you give yourself a loose enough risk at 480. About 15-cent risk, 20-cent reward, really, maybe a little bit more than 20 cents, but not much. And so, that's really what I'm looking for, whether it's going to bring up there and break those previous highs at 515 on IGC is what I'm kind of looking at there. But nice trade on TEVA, man.
Yep.
But yeah, biggest miss of the day today for me was AMRN. Really, I just kind of, as this trade was happening, I called out what it was going to do, and it did it perfectly. So frustrating, but Gave me a little bit more confidence here. Again, if you were in our class for risk to reward, I said I would make my risk 2060. Again, why would that be my risk? Because it bounced off of there here, here, here,
MBEV
here, and
looking
here.
better, brother. MBEV looking better there.
Holding that major 629 level as resistance. We'll see though.
At least in my eyes, it's got a 1, 2. I would let it try one more time. If it does, I'd hammer down on there. Looks interesting.
Obvious risk level. That's the biggest thing I like about it. Is super obvious risk level of around 630 is the biggest thing I like with it. It could easily push up, but I like that risk point. I think the risk point's pretty obvious in that one. Just because if it cracks that, it breaks the high of the day and that previous flag pattern that it had, and so for that reason, it doesn't look bad.
I like that hard rejection I just got, guys. I'm watching this. Don't really want this back above 2107s. I'm gonna stop out at 2110. I'll break even on the rest, but I'm gonna let this trade work for me here, guys. This gets down below these 21s. We couldn't get down there to the 90s, to the 80s. And this stock does have good daily support to support this move. Let's see it get tackled here at 21s.
I appreciate it, Billy. Billy said, I have 75 cents not tied up. Any suggestions? I said, buy some bubble gum, brother. Might not be good risk to reward, though. You want to make sure it's good risk to reward, though, because you know how quickly bubble gum goes bad. And so, I don't know, man. You want to make that calculated investment on that. That's all you, bro.
Nice rejection there. Just don't really want it getting strength above 2107s.
Yeah, the only one I'm really watching now, I'm still watching AMRN. If AMRN gets back up to this 2060 level, I don't mind it up here. But it would have to get up there, maybe around the VWAP. I could scale into it. IGC doesn't look bad. It just cracked under the the whole dollar of 5. Look at IGC. There it goes. IGC down to 486. Just cracked under the whole dollar of 5. What happens? It gets washed out. And it's like we talked about the other day in our class. Why does this happen with these big volume spikes? Is because long traders that are holding it above 5 are jumping out once it breaks under 5 because it broke under that key support level. And so they're jumping out of the trade, which is making it drop. And then shorters like me are jumping in the trade when it cracks the low of 5. And so they're jumping in short, which is making the stock drop, making the volume spike back up as well.
All right. I'm going to set a stop here for Tiva as I think it's working for me. About to get that move. Start banking in here. Now I can really set a stop at break-even price and let this stock really make me some money. NBEV looks just, that's my kind of stock right there. I wouldn't mind shorting those 622s off of a short risk of 628, 629.
Yeah.
8 cent risk. You definitely got a 10 cent potential there, and I think more.
For sure. It's got to get a little bit higher, though, I think, but... Right now, I'm just trying to look at what the other cannabis stocks are doing with NBEV because it is a cannabis stock. So the only one that scares me is CRON. That one just skyrocketed up. Nice, Missouri. Congrats, brother. Congrats, man. Nice work, dude.
NIO back underneath the VWAP.
Yeah, I was looking at NIO as well.
All right, gotta be careful here with Tiva, guys. It's back up there to 2107s. Don't want to see these 2107s go through. There you go, 2108. I'm gonna see if it's gonna run through on the time and sales. And that'd get me out.
All right, so we have AMRN spiking back up here. Looking at it, the only way I would take it is if it got up to this 2050 level. If it got up to 2045, 2050, I would consider taking it with that previous risk level that I mentioned earlier, 2060. If it can't get up there, I'm just going to move on.
All right, stopped out there, guys.
No
Took
stress,
$20
brother.
from the trade. I'll take it. Up $26 for the day.
Nice work, bro.
That's why we take some at the support, guys, and then look for the kind of the win, the big win.
Right.
Yep.
If it doesn't
There's
work,
MBVV.
yeah, man.
Called it out there. More than willing to take 621 if this bounces up here to the VWAP. Let me get a bounce to 621.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see a bounce on AMRN with a target of 20, risk level of 2060, but it has to get up there. Yeah, EBR starting to push up. It really had a big move earlier, but the volume's definitely lower now, so because of that, I don't trust it as much. Put the scanners back up here. TRXC back under the VWAP as well.
Come on, MBEV. Don't leave without me.
Look at that snap. I don't mind snap here because the risk to reward was probably pretty good. But yeah, look at IOVA. That thing is just skyrocketing up as well. With snap here, very obvious risk level of 625. Really, 620 would probably be a little bit more reasonable risk level. Potential reward would be back at the high of the day at 640.
MBEV. Couldn't have called it out more than that, guys. Just absolutely beautiful. I knew it. I was just stuck in the other trade.
I'm kicking myself with AMRN. I barely missed this one, but I kind of walked people through it and walked exactly what it was going to do. And then it even bounced right where I said it would. So that's the biggest one I'm frustrated about missing today. Even drew the little arrow there.
You could have got your money back on MBEV.
I know, man. But
It's a good spot there.
you know me, man. I'm pretty disciplined with my rules, but especially when I have a losing trade, I'm usually pretty selective after that, and that's just kind of my way of managing my risk. But I did like it. It looked good. I thought that 630 level holding as resistance would be nice, so it might bounce here though.
Yeah, I needed to show up to 20 or 21. Yeah, man, IOVA is pushing strong.
Yeah, IOVA was skyrocketing up there.
Hey,
Yeah, I
remember
can't
on
short it,
IOVA,
Peter.
guys, what did I call for my level that it was gonna possibly make it up to today? It was $12, right on the dot, getting up there to that resistance. So why you gotta use the important levels, guys.
Look at NIO though. NIO right around the $0.50, around the VWAP at 55. Little tough trend to trade though, but it doesn't look too bad there. There's NIO almost back to the VWAP at 755. It's at 752. There goes NBEV,
Right,
bro.
I got MBEV there. I was able to get in there at 21s, 621 there. I'm risking off of really quick. I'm gonna be a little tighter. 626, guys. 626 is my stop. 5 cents. I'm in here with 500 shares there, guys. Looking for this move back down to 610, and then below to 603. Don't want this over VWAP here, guys. Got to be tight here, guys.
Yeah, insurance. We had a psych class. Wednesday was psychology day.
That was really fun.
Right, that was a really good one. Ask Tiny. Tiny was here. She was there for psych day. I think that was one of our best classes thus far. Really. On certain classes I lead, and on certain classes Mitch leads. And so that's what we were saying. Yesterday was back testing day, and so it was back testing class. So I led on that one. Wednesday was psych class, so Mitch led on that one. The day before was risk reward, and then the day before that was how to build a watch list, how to pick home run stocks. And so, like I said, we'll probably end up putting a little sample up here eventually. I have one clipped for about a 15-minute preview of the class. That's what I'm saying. Mitch is mostly teaching the psych class. Yeah, Abby was there.
All right, guys, don't want it to close over 623 now, guys. That last high. Now I'm only risking 3 to 4 cents on this trade. That's why I went in with a little bigger size here, guys. ATXI going off on the high day momentum. ATXI. There you go. Got the first move there. Looking to put out 300 shares there at 610. Would cover 300 shares there at 610.
The only reason we might not sample the psych class is just because we read excerpts from a book, and for copyright reasons, that's the only reason we probably won't sample that. If we did sample it, which I guess I can clip out the readings from it, but yeah, I'll try to do that. Yeah, it was the four most common problems with traders, and we use me as an example a lot of the times because you guys could probably see I have my fundamentals down. But the biggest flaw and the biggest kind of hole in my game is the emotional aspect of it and actually holding it to my predetermined levels. And so, I think you learn most from your losses, and so we review some of my mistakes a lot of the time. But like I said, Mitch leads the psychology class just because, it wouldn't make sense for me to lead it. You know what I mean?
All right, MBEV looking good here. Just needed someone to knock it down through those 14s.
Look at NIO getting rejected at that $0.50. Correct, Jason. So long means you profit if the stock goes up. Short means you profit if the stock goes down. And yeah, you can check out our site. Our site kind of goes into a little bit more in depth about it. But yeah, that's essentially what it means. Is long you profit when it goes up. Short you profit when it goes down. I actually like NBEV a little bit better here, just because it has twice the resistance, and so 628 can be your risk, giving you 10 cents. Down at 6 can be your reward, giving you 18 cents. And so I like it a little bit better here than before, but we'll see what happens. I'm guessing Mitch's target, I think he said earlier, is 610 for the first profit, probably.
Yeah, 610 first profit, guys.
Ultimately looking for it to probably come down to 6, though, and crack under 6 in an ideal trade.
That's how I'm getting my risk to reward on this trade. And, you know, one of the key things, like you guys are talking about psychology, most people would have covered right here, guys, in 15, 16s. I have to stay to my system. My system tells me I can't do it. I won't do it. And everything in me emotionally says, hey guys, this is getting a little dangerous here. You know, could reverse back on me. But if it reverses back on me and I get out on my risk, that's fine also. That's the really key part of trading, is really just staying to your levels. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out. But what you don't want to do is take profits fast, and you don't want to go ahead and stop out on a winner, like just close it just because you're getting nervous.
Insurance asking exactly, man. That's one of the biggest holes in my game. But Insurance is asking where I built my site from. Really, I just built it using a few different things. I mean, I used WordPress is where I built my site.
YGYI, going off there, guys. I had a feeling this stock is a weed stock, and it's the new weed stock. It's definitely hyped up. Just can't trade it.
I'm looking at TRXC. I actually might jump in TRXC
guys,
here.
Got to be careful here with MBEV. Don't want to pass 623. 623, guys, would be my out.
All right, I'm actually looking at TRXC here with a risk of about 510, so a tiny risk I would have to take with at least 200 shares. But I don't dislike it. So on this bounce here, I'm going to take 200 shares of TRXC using this 512 level as my risk.
Don't want to try to make a new high here, guys. Got to be really careful with MBEV here. Want it back down at 615 here. There's a little rejection off of 620. Let's see if it gets back down to 615.
But yeah, Insurance, it's built on WordPress, man.
There you go. Got to tighten up here now, guys. Now we don't want to even see 623s go through there. Risking 2 cents here, guys. 2 cents on this trade. I'll take the trade.
Right. You know? 2 cents is nothing, man. Mitch is probably the better time and sales person here. Tiny's asking what the white on time and sales means.
The white is in between the spread. If you guys didn't know, you can put orders in between the spread. You don't have to fill at the bid or the ask. All right, seeing a lot of volume go through there at 620, guys. Really be careful here, guys. finger on the trigger to get out if it spikes and squeezes on us. If it opens up the next candle and comes down to 615, that will show more confirmation in this trade.
What's up, Cole? What's up, brother?
All right, don't want it over here, guys. Don't want it making a new high now. Come on, reject these 620s one more time. If it rejects these 620s one more time, guys, we're going to get below and get our reward. If it gets above 620s, I'm just going to go ahead and get out. It's going to be too much pressure there on that break-even price. The squeeze is probably going to be back up there to 628 if this does squeeze up. Just got to be really careful with it here on 620s. We want this 620 rejection here. If you see, we have a downward trend line on the 1 minute. It's kind of up sloping up there. You don't want it past that. All right, 1 second here. Next candle, guys, is really going to determine it.
All right, there goes TRXC dropping down to 503s. Looks good. Want to see it crack under that $5 level.
There it goes, rejecting the 20s. Now I don't want it above those 20s now, guys. If it just shoots up above 20s, we'll just get out. It's supposed to crack down here, guys. And when you have that understanding in the psychology of the stock, don't fight that psychology. I know that here is like kind of the make it or break it, guys. If it gets above 620s, it's going to get right back up there to the highs and test the highs. But if it breaks down here, rejects down and just gets down to those 615s, you could get weight, knock it down to the 610s, then a move to $6. I'm going to stay in this trade because I already established my risk, established my reward. I'm going to go ahead and stick to my bones on this.
Yeah, TRXC dropped nicely for me. I'm just going to keep it holding in that to my levels as well at 512. Tight risk. It's down to 503, so looking good for me, but going to hold that one to my levels as well. Ultimately, I'm looking for it to get down to 498 before I take profits. And if it breaks 512, I'll get out of mine as well. You can see here. There's 502s.
All right, there you go. Down to 17s here, guys. 16s. As it approaches 610s, I'll put out my order there. Don't want this back above 620s now, guys. So I see 621s, I'll just stop out, break even there, guys. So now, essentially riskless on this trade, except commissions, setting myself up for a big win. And regardless if it pushes me out, I'll be okay with it, guys. Set yourself up is all you can do really in trading. The market is what pays you. Your skill is what sets you up.
100%. There's 501s. Going to take a profit here.
You guys can see my screen. I don't know, but I do have this downward trend line, guys. I just don't want it back above that trend line, guys. You also have this topward trend line support there. So it's kind of a support, resistance to resistance right there at 620. Don't want it back above 620. Want it to smack down from here on. It could even push up to 620, guys, and kind of fake out, guys. So I'm going to do 622. I'll risk 1 cent on this trade. I know if it smacks down through 615, it's going to go to that 610, collect some more volume, and head to those sixes. This is where we could see the final bounce or maybe a little fake out where it touches 620, 621, but then knocks down. So I'm really going to stay to this level up here, the 622, 623 area. There's the push. Quick rejection off that 619.
$9 spread on AGMH. What are you talking about, Salty? Really, it's about 4-cent spread out. I think it might be your charting, brother. I'm seeing a 4-cent, 5-cent spread from 1989 to 1992. I don't know if you're trolling me, Salty.
All right, looking good. Want some big traders to jump in here and just knock it down here, guys. As you see, it created another somewhat high there. Don't want it past those 620, guys. It'll just reverse here and get above that. We want it to knock down here. Knock down, get to this 10, bounce a little bit, knock down the 6.
Oh, AGMH. I'm thinking of AMRN. Sorry, Salty. Sorry, brother. I was thinking of AMRN. Let me look at AGMH. Anytime I see an A something stock, I think of AMRN. Yeah. $9 spread. $8.65 spread on
That's
AGMH.
exciting.
Yeah, man. Jump in there with 1,000 shares, you're immediately down, what, $9,000?
Sounds exciting, brother.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we get this downward pressure here, guys, and really knock down NBEV. Hopefully bringing it down here to $6 and taking our profit here. Can't do much, but just let the trade work. Understand the levels, and from that point on, just hold to it.
Yep.
Is the 615, guys? 615 showing up on the bid. Let's see if there's some big sizing comes in here, gives us our confirmation, and we get the old famous powwow. All right, those 615s. Let's see if someone hammers down on this. Some shares going through there, but immediately we get this kind of like fake out here. Let's just pay attention, make sure it doesn't close past 21. Got to be careful here, guys. Just know your levels, understand your levels, and that's it. If it gets above it, you get out. You respect your trade, regardless of it's a winner or a loser. You got to have respect for trading. You got to take responsibility for your trading, regardless if it goes to your way or it doesn't. All right, hard rejection there again off of 20s, guys. Definitely don't want to see it close above 20 now. 621's my out. It's just going to be too much pressure on that side. And once you see rejection off your levels, you've created more resistance there. So if it does break it, you're going to get that more breakout. All right, 620s there, guys. Got to be really careful here, guys. $622s is my out. Risking 1 cent here. Rejection of 620 is what I want to see. There's some 20s going through there, guys. Got to be careful there.
Yeah, nice work, Missouri. Good trades, brother. Good trades, man. You've been killing it every day, bro, so keep working, man. Doing great.
That boy Missouri. All right, guys, gotta really be careful here, guys. New candles, always gotta be careful where they open and if they go long. I always like to pay attention where it opens. There's 21s, 22s, I'm out. You see how quick it is, guys?
$5 loss, nothing, man.
Set myself up there and might have gotten a little stop out fake there, guys, to 22. But I gave myself 1 cent for this reason, for this fake out. But one of the key things is, guys, you got to respect your levels. I understood that was going to be my level here, guys. I'll take that risk and reward any day. Still profitable on the day.
Yeah, nice work, brother. I probably end up closing. Oh,
yeah, I think today is really, really an important lesson, guys. See how I was able to manage my trades and still remain positive today, guys. Two trades, essentially three trades didn't go right, and I'm still ending the day net positive.
100%, man. Nice work, brother. Good job. But yeah, if anybody's interested in learning from Mitch and I, you can check out our classes. And look, there's the spike on NBEV, so good exit. Minimize your losses, so nice work, brother.
Understand the levels, the psychology of the importance of that price now. Now it's on the reversal and definitely holding strong there. All you can do is set yourself up every single time. If you set yourself up for a big win, I promise you that big win will come.
100%, man.
You know.
But anyways, guys, go check out our site if you're interested. Even if you aren't interested in our classes, we do have a strategy section that you can check out. Just going over the different strategies and setups that we use. We have a short section, a strategy video library, breaking down what we look for in trades. It's just our type of trade, so if you're not interested in it, no stress. But we have broker reviews as well. If you're interested, these are all no PDT brokers that we've used and review them. But also, like I said, we have a class every weekday night. You know, we get some hate for it, but the truth is, guys, if you think about it, at $40 a month, 20 classes, it's $2 per class. You know, you really can't get that value anywhere else. Mitch and I have been relatively consistent in the last few months. Mitch is on what? His 10-day green streak now, all documented live on stream. 9.
We'll go for 10 on Monday. We'll go for
sure.
10. The record of 10. Let's do it.
But the key here is that it's all documented live. Like, other people might put up these big gains, but they're not actually doing it live. A lot of times they're just cherry picking their gains. And so it's not really, we're not trying to be experts or gurus or anything like that. We're just trying to expedite and help new traders learn and maybe learn along with them. And so if you're interested, go check them out. But yeah, like I said, you can go check out the strategy section if you're not interested in that. Also, shout out to Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas, it was nice enough to let me stream their scans, and so really awesome scanning software. Allows you to do a lot of cool stuff. I'll go ahead and post their link here if anybody's interested in joining them. And also, if anybody's interested in using the broker that we use every day, which is Tefs, go check out TradeNet. We make a small commission if you sign up through our link, but it's a good way to help support the channel. And we're honest. You can go check out my review on TradeNet if you want to see an honest review. I'll probably set a stop on this trade and just let it work for the rest of the day on TRXC, and I'll try to record it to let everybody know what happens. But good luck for the rest of the day, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you all tomorrow at the same time as always. And look at that squeeze. Perfect time to get out, brother.
Look at MBEV, guys. That's what I always talk about. Once we get that reversal, what happens is all the shorts, they pull out, and people that know that the shorts pulled out, those are the people that attack a scalp here and go long on it, looking for this extension from the VWAP, and they're probably taking some profit now. And what they'll do is they'll hold the rest, break even at VWAP.
Yep, I see that.
And that's another strategy also. It's kind of what I do for when I see an extended stock on the long side. When I see it break down the pattern, I go and short it. These are longs. These are long traders that see a short pattern fail, and once it fails, it should at least reverse and try some resistance. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing the volume get in there. I saw 50,000 shares go through at 6:30, 10,000 shares, 5,000 shares, and 3,000 shares at 6:32.
Yes, sir.
There's a reason why that spike comes, guys. Accumulation of volume pushes it over resistance or support, which gives you that move.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, really excited, guys. today we'll be going over weekly review of all the stocks that made big moves, and really getting ready, guys.
Plan for next week. That's what we're really going to
Yep.
do, is plan for next week, plan some potential strategies that we might try to implement next week, go over this past week's trades, and just try to keep learning, guys. Just try to keep learning. So we'll see you all later. We'll see you at 6 o'clock, guys. 6 o'clock Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and have a good day. Good luck. We'll see you all later. I'll try to record this trade. I took back most of my loss on the day, but I'll try to record this trade, let you guys know how it goes. It's looking good at this point. It's down to 501, and so I'm liking it much better now. And yeah, have a good day. We'll see you all later. Good luck.